it's Dave from the shop. So we're going to continue on now with the Lighthouse. The light, the top, the actual light itself will here. It's been sitting in this jig for a week, so I'm sure it's dry. Pardon me. You see how well the new table goes. I just built this this morning, so if you wanted to watch how I built a crazy little table, go ahead and look that up. It's called trailer build, or pardon me, table build. So we're going to go ahead and do this. I'll be slowing down the stuff and speeding it up as we go. So just follow along and we'll see how I do the Lighthouse. So here we go. All I'm going to do, as you can see these little lips, I could cut them off with a saw, with my saw, but nah, I'll just buzz them down with the 80 grit, pardon me. This 1/4 inch stuff goes down pretty quick. Here we go. I'll speed this up. There we go. Now what we have to do is just figure out how much the top is and how much the bottom is. The bottom should be, by looking at the pictures, should be about 3 inches or so, and the top, if I can have that, 1 inch. Because I think I said before in the video it's going to be 3 inches, 3 inch base, 6 inch window, 1 inch top. And then from here I'll make the peaks that all come up, and then it'll have the small little vent here. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the saw and reposition you guys, and we'll see if we can make a mess out of this. I brought the column over and see that's about, it's not quite, so 3 inches at the base. 3 inches is the base right there. That looks about right. 6 inches is the light. And we'll make the light 7 inches. Do I have enough here? Pencil. I'll do a chasing it right now. So 3 inches of the base. 6 inches, 6.5 inches is the light. And then the top will be a solid inch, so that's not bad. So that'll be all right. That'll look okay. It doesn't. Actually, the proportions look pretty good, so they don't look too bad. Of course, around here, this all got to be finished and routed, and then we put on the railings around there for that. And we still got to put the windows in, sand off all the column from other filling. But we'll go ahead and we'll get the light cut down. We'll see how that looks. So the first one we'll do the base first, and my sliding rule here is just about perfect. 3 inches it is. All right. Ear protection on, vacuum on. We'll get this first one cut down. There we go. There's the base. I've cleaned that up a bit. Clean that up just a bit there. A couple little spots left over. It's all right. I want to raise this up just a bit. And then this one here, we just need 1 inch off the top. So all this other bit here, we don't really even need. So let's see what 1 inch looks like. So what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2 inches, and then if it looks too big after that, we'll still take it down. It's much better to take. It's much better to take more off later than too much at the start. All right, fan back. All right, I'm not quite sure what I'll use that for, but knowing me, I'll make something with it. So there's the base. We'll sand that off so it's nice and smooth. There's the top. I'm gonna put another piece on here so it's solid. You gotta be careful with these little guys. When during drastic temperature changes, sometimes you can seal these up so much they'll actually puff and break the glue seal. So I just have to drill a little hole in the bottom of it to make sure it pressurizes. And back on the farm I used to work on 100 years ago, the oil drums we used to have out for the show jumpers to put up as jumps and little obstacles for them. They would groan and moan and ping at night when the sun went down from the changing temperature inside and the air expanding and contracting. Anyway, I'm going to sand these up and then we'll continue. So I didn't want to mess this up, so I changed to 220 because I don't want to grind this down too much. All I want to do is clean it up a little bit. There we go, that's all I wanted. If you look inside there, you can see the glue all the way around, so I got really good glue coverage. Same with that at the top. So, like that, we'll put a light on top there, and then maybe, yeah, like that. And then the light in between there. Cool beans. So I think what I'm going to do now, what I'm going to do now is build the pieces for the top. So as usual, I've changed my mind. Before I build the peaks for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the bottom or the top or whatever it happens to be. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out on the saw, leave it proud so I can sand it down, and we'll glue her on up. So we're just going to glue and clamp this up now. We'll let this sit and then we'll sand her up. The top here really doesn't need too much. Just down. Total coverage. There we go. Wish I could make these things perfect. It's just off a little bit there. I don't got listen to me. I don't have complete 22.5 degrees everywhere. Proud. Just make sure. Right there. Perfect. Okay. Clamp her up. Sometimes it moves a bit in the clamp, so we just gotta watch it. Gotta get some more of these DeWalt clamps. They're fantastic. I like them a lot. These they don't have to be DeWalt, I guess. Maybe whoever. These little guys are good, but not quite as quick. They're strong. pressure. Just enough to hold it on there securely. There we go. We'll leave that to set up. And I'll probably see this again next weekend, next video. All right. Oops, sorry. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to sort out how high the base has to be. So I'll just set everything up, and so you can see it. I'll be right back. So there we've got the base on. It's too high. I gotta take it down a little bit. I'll show you, hopefully I can bring this in so you can see it. Hard to do. You can see the base there in relationship to the, I'll move this out of the way. There we go, right there. Yeah, you see how thick it is? It's big, that is a touch bigger, so she's almost the same. I'd say a good inch or two's got to come off it. I'm going to take an inch off at a time. And there we go. Oops, wrong way. You see it there. So yeah, I think I'll take an inch off at a time, and we'll start with that, and then we'll just keep going back and forth until it looks right. Very good. We're set up here. Got it set up at an inch. So hearing protection on. I think that's still going to be a little thick, but let's go see. I took an inch off. It's which side's better? That side's better, eh? Oh, hands in the way. There we go. Oh, there we go. Another inch. One more inch off. Well, looks better. That looks a lot better. Looking at that, just back and forth, back and forth. Phone, wake up. That looks like I can take off half an inch. I'll take off half, and then we'll call her good. That looks good there, but I want it to be a little closer. Half inch. All right, there we go. That extra half inch is it. That looks really, really nice. That looks good to the picture. So we'll leave it like that. There's going to be a little quarter inch bit on the bottom, because then it's got to have the bump up, because on one of the sides there's the little access shack that we have to build to go on there. What time is it now? 3 o'clock. Well, what I might do now is just sand the column. Let's sand up that column real quickly, attach it to the base permanently, and then we'll look at building the little access building, and then next weekend we'll finish the light off. And the light off and the base for the light, we got to figure out how we're going to make the uprights and the cross members for the guardrails that go around. So here we go. So sanding. Get all the little imperfections sorted out. Up here, I put some filler in to fill in all the little gaps. Because that's what filling does. Yeah. All right, here we go. I'll speed this up.
I am your father.
So there we go, that's all that. Nice, I'll finish that up by hand. I'm going to flip it over now and do the top. I had to do some filling in on the top. There's also a gap here I found. So I'm not that great as I think I'm going to tell people I am. But yeah, keep going. It's not quite as level as I'd like, but I can fix that. We got to put the top on. Once we get the top on it, it'll be able to sand off the high spots. I'm gonna get some do some hand work around the edge here, and no need to watch that. So I'll get back to you when I'm getting ready to put the base on. All right, I'll quickly show you what I'm doing. Drywall sanding sponge. They're great. They're good for taking off the filler. So we're just getting rid of all the excess in here and rounding out the edge. Once the paint's in here, it'll look great. That's all we're doing. I got some dowels that I have covered in sandpaper. I can get right in there and sand that off right nice. This isn't one of the most visible spots. Because most people, when they look at the lighthouse, they can look at the overall light and the column and the actual light itself. I'm not to look right at this little point here, which suits me fine. What I did when I made the Port Alcone, I think that's how you pronounce it, Port Alcone Lighthouse for that gentleman down south here. It doesn't have, it's not chined like this. You see how this is chined? This comes out and it actually mirrors the 8 sides. In the Port Alcone Lighthouse, first off, the base is round, so I had to build this giant lathe for it, and then get it all nice and round. And then to do this, I built a little jig, and I filled it with body filler, autumn body filler, and then sanded all that. So that stuff's never cracked. I haven't talked to him in a while. She's really texted him to see how that lighthouse is doing. But it was well primed. It sits outside in his backyard. I think I told you that before. Over time, some of the seams will actually open up a little bit, and it's wood. But I know when I talked to him a year after the lighthouse was built, he was still very, very happy with it. And because of all the prep work I had done it hadn't cracked or anything, so that's good. I've got one sitting in the backyard on our deck, which I built a long time ago. It was one of my first ones, and it's been out of the elements now for 2 years, I guess. I've had it for 3, so it's been outside in the elements for 3 years, and it's just starting now. Just now starting to show a little bit of wood wear, old wood. It's starting to show its age just a little bit. But I didn't take any precautions with that thing, really. I didn't. What I did was I just built it and painted it. I didn't really prime it properly. This was my first one. Heck, I didn't know what I was doing. Like the submarine the submarine sail we'll get into here in the next couple months. Once I get a couple other projects done, I get some time, we'll get that submarine in here, the sail, and we'll take that apart, we'll put that back together. And that's completely sealed in fiberglass resin. So it's like a little boat, so it floats, no water gets in it. I was really amazed the first year that we had it in the water. I thought for sure, because we only go out there, to my brother-in-law's farm on long weekends, and there's a holiday when we do our motorcycles, so we start right in there. And after we put it in May, when we went back for the July long, I fully thought it would be sunk. I really did. I thought it would have sank, honestly. But no, it stayed up. We've taken it out every year, put it back in every year, and it's just now starting to show its age. So I've got it home now, and I'll make that one of the bigger projects. So there we go. It's a little rough in there yet, but I'll get my dowels in there, and we'll get that done. So that's good enough for now. So we'll get the base up here, and we'll make the blocking for the base and get this thing attached. So what I do to get it on, I gotta put blocking in here that we screw into. And normally I do on the 6-sided, I just do 3 because that's more than strong enough. On this one I'll do 4, so I'll put blocking here and I'll put blocking here, just out of this 1.5 inch. So it'll go in there like that, But I gotta get the distances right, so a scrap piece of 5/8 cord, same size as, of course, the column. So we just line that up, and then make another 8-slider in here, because I didn't need that front one, did I? Because all I really need is these guys. I've done them all this way, and of course I've messed some up, which is okay, because if the blocks are out a little bit, it's a little tight, you sand it down till it fits really, really nice. So taking into account here, we don't need it, it just has to be down there, so it doesn't, it just has to be on so it's nice and tight. So we don't have to make these things giant. So I'm looking at about there. I'll quickly cut up 4 of that size, and we'll be right back. So there we go, I got the 4 blocks. So what I do quickly is put them in a spot there, and draw them out. Doesn't matter, they're all the same size. Oops. So they don't interfere with the corners. And that is more than enough to hold these things down. And then I'll pre-drill. Get ready to stick them on, then I'll glue them up, and then we screw them on. So that's what we'll do. spent that somewhere. Hold on, let's quickly grab the glue. There we go. This guy, I've had this 15, 20 years. It's built 2 or 3 decks. It's amazing. It's never lost a beat, this crazy thing. It's great. I wasn't using it earlier because the batteries started dying on it. Both batteries died at the same time, which is very strange because I normally keep one always on the charger. But it did, so maybe the batteries are getting a little old. I have to replace one, but it's been a fantastic drill. That's why I got a new DeWalt. Now, the fun bit. We glue them on, we hold them on, we do them in from the other side. Let me see if I can get a clamp. Maybe I'll get a clamp to hold that on there. Not going anywhere. Yeah, clamp won't work. I tried it, but it just hits there, and they need some more blocking. All my little yellow ones I've got on the Lighthouse top. Glue, just smush it all on there. Doesn't matter how much. It doesn't matter how much. We want lots. Line it all up as best we can. And second last one. Somebody out there is probably, if anybody's watching, I haven't had any views at all on any of my videos. The motorcycle one, I got a few. I think I got 9. So like I said in that video, it doesn't matter what I do here because nobody's watching. That's alright. When I'm fun, I like to talk, make a mess, like to screw things up. Behind me is I've built a shelf for extra projects, and I'm going to make a backdrop there for this, just to clean it up a little bit. I'll put Dave's Shop on it or some crazy thing like that, or make up a cool name that somebody else is using, and then I'll get in trouble for it. Or a cool name that somebody got patented or something. Copyrighted. I'd like to get some watches for you guys watching. Whoops, just that back around. Flip that over because you only got a hole in it and follow the hole. Those gotta be one, right? So I got a couple more things coming. I got a better lighting system coming for the shop, for the videos. I've got a better microphone coming. So maybe at some point I'm going to get good at this stuff, and more people will watch. So there we go. Those are in there. So then we test fit it, dry, and then we glue the heck out of it. So let's see how this works here. I got the line up correctly. There you go. Yeah, you see, it's just a touch tight, so that's a good thing. Oh, just a minute. Oh, your horses. That'll go in there just nice and tight. Oh, now I can get it off. Perfect. Here to remember. It should be fairly self-explanatory, but then we're dealing with me, you never know. So then I'll put this on, and glue it down, make sure it fits nice, jam it all the way on, and then we'll have to come around later on, you do some filler around the sides. More aesthetically, it's it's nice. The paint will fill a lot, but a lot of little gaps. Nothing's perfect, but the fillers to keep the water out. We don't want the water getting inside. So there we go. All right, glue it up. We'll put this thing on. Once that's on, we start building a little house on the side. Talking about little houses, we're going to build a bunch of little houses this year out of the farm. They're little tiny guys. And then we're going to fill it with tannerite, and then shoot them with 22s so they blow up. Tannerite's I think that's what it is. Tannerite is just mild little explosive that's used in target shooting. So if you're shooting at great distances, you actually know that you hit it for target practice. So I bought this really neat. The Lighthouse 12 gauge semi-automatic shotgun. I'll get glue all over my hands on. Now we're going to go fire that for the first time. Let's see how well that goes. Mallet. My stool. Seated. Good wraps in. Make sure it's fully seated. So looks like it is. Maybe not. A little bit, I can fix that, no big deal. Right, now we'll screw it in there. So I don't know if this really shows up well. I've got it opened up. It was a little tight, maybe I should have sanded a little bit off of those blocks. A little tight, it just split a little seam there. So that's no big deal. I put a strap on, and what we're going to do is when we attach it, we'll just, we don't want to do that. Shoot. What happens if the turnbuckle's too close to the edge, it puts in a big grooves and it'll have to be fixed. So what we'll do, tighten that up a bit more. Now we'll screw into the blocks, which are right there. We want them countersunk a little bit. Starting from the back, and the pressure. We'll have to fill those guys in. That one, this one right away. And then we'll let it sit for a bit to get all the stresses out of it, because it might stress out just a bit. Yeah, we want those counters because we want to fill them. Put this thing into a little gear. So there we go, the base is on. That looks the right size. Like I said, we're going to put in, it's going to be an eighth, or quarter-inch piece on the bottom. We've got that over there. We'll have to build out the little house that goes on the side. I've got to look at the pictures and see what the where all the windows go. So next time, we'll do a little bit more today. We'll clean this up here, but we'll fill this in. We'll fill in all these little holes, all these little cracks here. I'll just go ahead and do that, and we'll back you guys up, and you can watch me from a distance. That's all I'm doing now. I'm just going to fill in the little holes where it opened up in the cracks. It's opened up two little places there. No big deal. The glue, once the glue on the base will sets up, it's really going to hold it in there. But like I said before, we just don't want any water getting in it. That's the biggest thing. And well, here aesthetically, we really want it to look good too. And this time we'll be filling all the brand new holes. Because on the real Sambro Lighthouse there, the base is concrete. So it's okay, but it looks a little rough, I guess. Stuff is fantastic. Once this stuff sets up, it's like stone. Then it sands easily. If there's any woodworkers out there, if anybody's watching, I'm sure somebody said, well, you could have done that better. You could have made it so it mates perfectly. Yes. Yeah. I'm just not that good. I'm just happy to do this. The nice thing about it is, yeah, sure, I'm not the best. By far, there's much better guys out there. They're all over YouTube. They've all got fantastic channels. and I've got no views. So maybe that'll change. Maybe the more and more I do this, maybe that'll change a little bit. I don't mind constructive criticism at all. If somebody's going to teach me something, I'm all over learning, that's for sure. But normally, all the lighthouses I've built, I still haven't shown you the Kaleidoscope Lighthouse. I'll have to go down and make a little video of that. That thing was a lot of fun to build. It took me a little while to build it. It's a light, from the cover of a light from one of for our garage lights, outside garage lights, would hung on the side of the house. So the cover is that, and we put a Christmas kaleidoscope light in it. So it looks actually really neat. It lights up quite nicely. I put flashing LED strip lights inside it, so all the windows flash, which is neat. And then it's got 2 rings, and inside those rings is flashing rope light. So, and there's holes in the bottom of those rings that, so the light, as it's shining, as it's flashing, flashes down the column of the lighthouse. So yeah, I'll have to show you that one of these days. I'll actually go down. It's in our spare bedroom in the basement with all my other stuff. Since my son is now moved out, his room has now become my storage for all my woodworking stuff. If you saw the very first video, I showed you a quick little blur right in the front of everything I built, and there's a chest down there that I had sold, but the person backed out. So that was one of the last times I ever built anything without a deposit. I don't build things without a deposit as long as I know the person very, very well. Beyond that, if you just come up to the first time you want a house sign built, edge-lit house sign for something built, it's got to be 50% off. Gotta be. So then at least if somebody backs out, they can, at least I've got the materials covered, and I'm not overly worried then. The only thing I'm really worried about then is storing it. Like this, the other lighthouse I messed up. The other attempt at this was that one sitting over there just out of view. I think I showed you that earlier. It, in another video, pardon me, I got a decent down payment, and I built it wrong. So, there we go. So I had to redo it. At my own expense, which is fine, I don't mind. The guy building this for gave me a 50% down deposit. 50% deposit, I know him, he's an ex-military guy that he was in the military with me. We didn't fly together in the same squadron, but we did fly at the same time. Well, there we go, just more and more and more of this. If you're still sticking around with me, well, thank you very much. If you like to talk, it's good to have, what we have going on in the background, I guess. There's nothing else going on in here. Your life, you're going to be pretty bored to be watching me do this. Oh, yeah, beating on that with that mallet. Didn't know that. There ain't at all. Sorry, it's out of camera. Get these little gaps up here sorted before we carry on for the weekend. Oh, there we go. There we go. I think that's we're going to call it there for today. That's enough, I think. We had 3 quick videos. Of course, we made. If you're on my channel there, you'll see that I have a video for the Harley mounting the GoPro. I made a quick little video about building this table, which I think I'm really going to like now that I've got it nicely firmed up. And then, of course, the light, and then the mounting, standing in the column and mounting it to the base, cutting the base down to the right size. So I think that's enough for today. So if anybody's out there, please leave a comment saying yes, you're actually watching these. It'd be nice to know that somebody was. And if you're not watching, you don't even know I exist. So anyway, for those of you that are watching, thank you very much for staying with me. And yeah, if you want to, hit that like button. Subscribers, I don't think I'll get any, to be honest, but yeah, hit the like button if you like these things. I like yakking away here. I don't speak the best, but I try. So until the next time, everybody have a fantastic week, and post another one next Friday. See ya.